You're listening to the Quint's podcast.
The Bharatiya Janata Party scoreboard for the latest round of assembly elections show that the Saffron Party remains a formidable force in Indian politics. Barring Punjab, where AAP decimated the ruling Congress, the BJP regained a second term in Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Goa and Manipur. Especially in Uttar Pradesh, the incumbent CM Yogi Adityanath made history as the first chief minister in decades to return to power in the state after a 5-year term. And for the BJP, it is the first time a party has come back to power in Uttar Pradesh since the mid-80s. In our last episode, we unpacked what led to AAP's stunning victory in Punjab. In today's episode, we'll take a close look at the BJP's success in this election and the main takeaways from each of those victories. Joining me today for this is Aditya Menon, the Quint's political editor, and Himanshi Dahiya, the Quint's correspondent who has been covering Goa, Punjab and UP. You're tuned in to The Big Story, the podcast where we dissect the headline-making news for you, and I'm your host, Himmat. So, Aditya, in today's episode, we'll try and unpack the 3 states with you where the BJP won, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh and Manipur, and the key takeaways from it. So, I first want to start with Uttar Pradesh, where Yogi Adityanath has now made history as the first CM in decades to return to power in the state after a 5-year term. It is also the first time, I think, that a party has come back to power in UP since the mid-80s. So, I want to know, does Yogi being re-elected in UP with such a big margin also, despite the setbacks his government faced last year, be it the COVID-19 mismanagement or even the Lakhimpur Kheri incident as well, signal that he would be the next big thing in the BJP? Like, we have seen a few signs of this before, but does this win reinforce that idea?
Yes, Himmat, this win does reinforce that idea. See, Yogi Adityanath is probably the only BJP chief minister as of now whose popularity goes beyond Uttar Pradesh. If you see any survey, and most notably the India Today survey or the Mood of the Nation survey, which was the latest edition, in that Yogi Adityanath actually features among the top 5 prime ministerial preferences of people. Now, he's still way behind, say, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but because Prime Minister Narendra Modi is there as a choice. But if someone says, okay, who should succeed Prime Minister Modi, then Yogi Adityanath does feature reasonably high. I think even within the Hindutva family, there is a certain section of slightly more hardline elements who see Adityanath as a more unapologetic or even more hardline, more ideological leader than Prime Minister Modi. So he has that image. And he also is said to be tougher on minorities, and which appeals to that particular section. So he has that image. Whether that would ensure that he would become a successor to PM Modi is not clear. These successions aren't very smooth. Even Prime Minister Modi, he became the BJP's face after overruling a number of his rivals and overruling, of course, even his seniors like L.K. Advani. So, yes, Adityanath is probably the second most popular leader in the BJP right now. But we can't say if he's the next main leader for the party at the center.
Okay. Now, moving to the Samajwadi Party, they have drastically increased their vote share this time. I think they won about 125 seats. And they did almost everything right as well, but still lost. What do you think worked for the Samajwadi Party and what didn't? Like, we also saw like a host of defections as well to the Samajwadi Party just a few months ago with Swami Prasad Maurya, the Dalit leader as well, whose defection was going to possibly cause some damage to the BJP, but I think that also did not work out. So what do you think worked for the SP and what did not?
So we must understand that the Samajwadi Party had a very difficult task in the first place. The BJP had won to about 210 22 seats last time by margins of more than 10%. The SP had lost over 240 seats by similar margins. If one also includes the seats that the Congress, which was SP's ally in the last election, so over 240 seats, SP needed a margin of over 10% to sort of make those seats turn. So I mean, this was a very difficult task. Difficult task. It would nearly have been impossible for the SP to win this election. So in under these circumstances, what the SP has achieved is significant. Some things have worked for it. What has worked is that they have managed to consolidate their entire Yadav and Muslim vote bank. If one goes by the Axis India Today Axis survey, about 85+% of both these communities have voted for the SP. And the areas where these two communities are in good numbers, especially districts like Azamgarh, Jaunpur, SP has literally swept those areas. Yes, so I think that part has gone well for SP. They've also succeeded in winning about half of the Jat community's vote in the Western UP. Especially in the sugarcane belt districts of Muzaffarnagar, Shamli, Baghpat, the SP alliance did well. Where they failed is in this entire non-Yadav OBC shift that they were trying through leaders like Swami Prasad Maurya and Om Prakash Rajbhar. That doesn't seem to have yielded much. Of course, a little bit shift did happen. I think probably a third of the vote of these communities the SP may have received. But the BJP still had a sizable lead, and which is reflected in the results. Because in many areas, wherever Muslims and Yadavs are less in number, the SP was completely vulnerable, and those are the areas that the BJP really has secured very large leads.
Now, lastly on UP, I want to speak to you about Mayawati and the BSP. Now, the BSP has failed to make a significant dent in any state that they have contested in. In UP, I think they just won one seat.
Yeah.
So I want to know, has Mayawati and the BSP reached a point of no return? Have they reached a point of saturation within their vote bank as well?
I think the BSP story, I mean, this is the most mysterious aspects of this election. Where did the BSP vanish? They have secured a 12% vote in Uttar Pradesh, but they've just won one seat in Balia district, I think. It is inexplicable where the rest of their vote went. One can hazard a guess that they did get about 1/4, maybe 30% of Muslims used to vote for the BSP. They seem to have shifted en masse to the Samajwadi Party. And then we had, I think they used to get some upper caste and some OBC support. That also seems to have shifted mainly to the BJP. Then I think only Mayawati's own caste of Jatav Dalits, they are the only community which seem to have remained firmly with the BSP. All the other Dalit communities also seem to have gotten distributed between the BJP and the Samajwadi Party alliance. I think the BSP's support base has really shrunk. I think in future, a lot of questions will be raised even within the movement on the viability of the BSP, and I think newer players like Chandrasekhar Azad may stake a claim to that. Of course, the BSP managed to open its account after many years in Punjab, mainly due to its alliance with the Shiromani Akali Dal. So that's some solace for the party. But in UP, I mean, there are a lot of questions are being raised. Many people are even insinuating that the BSP may have had some kind of a secret understanding with the BJP, and they sort of basically sat this election out. So whether that's true or not is beside the point, but the fact that once a party delivers such a performance, people are bound to ask questions.
Okay. Now we move to our next state, Uttarakhand, where the exit polls had predicted a close fight between the BJP and the Congress, but it turns out it was a complete sweep for the BJP as well. But I first want to start with the Congress party. Now the Congress's face for Uttarakhand, Harish Rawat failed to win from his seat as well, and he failed to win in 2017 as well when he's contested from two seats in Haridwar and Kicha. Do you think these successive defeats by Harish Rawat may mean the end for his political career?
I think Congress really made a pig's breakfast of their entire Uttarakhand campaign. Now, Harish Rawat was clearly their strongest leader in Uttarakhand.
Yep.
Survey after survey showed him as the most popular leader in the state, ahead even of his BJP rivals, leave alone his Congress rivals. But for some inexplicable reason, the Congress party decided to make him the in charge of Punjab, a state which was going to polls at the same time as Uttarakhand. Now, it totally defies any kind of common sense for a party to do that. I mean, they have no other leader to appoint as in charge of Punjab, and eventually they did have to relieve Harish Rawat a couple of months before polling and appoint Harish Chaudhary of Rajasthan as their Punjab in charge. I mean, that was one mistake that the party made. Then when Rawat did finally start campaigning in Uttarakhand, there was no seat for him. He was initially supposed to fight from one seat, but then that seat was some other leader had to be accommodated. So he decided to fight from Lal Kuan. So in the end, the Congress lost both the seats. So I mean, it's really one can't blame Rawat alone for this. The party also was suffering from very serious infighting between the Rawat and the rival faction led by Pritam Singh and a few other leaders. Then Rawat in the middle also accused the parties in charge for the elections in Uttarakhand, Devendra Yadav, of trying to sideline him. An election which the Congress should ideally have won, as Uttarakhand always votes out incumbent governments, and especially with the BJP changing 3 chief ministers, it was really the Congress, it was like our ideal picking for the Congress, but really Congress made a mess of the entire Uttarakhand campaign.
Yeah, there's always a pendulum shift between the two parties, I think, since the state was carved out as well. It's always between BJP and Congress. Now, coming to the BJP, who did sweep the election, they did do that, but their sitting CM Pushkar Singh Dhami lost his seat, which leads me to my next question: is that who do you think is in the run-up for the CM office?
So, I mean, one thing that seems to have happened to the BJP in Uttarakhand is now it seems that it is largely the central government's appeal and the central leadership's popularity, and especially Prime Minister Modi's popularity, that seems to be pulling the BJP in Uttarakhand. I won't take credit away from Pushkar Dhami. I mean, he may have lost from his own seat, but he truly deserves credit for taking away a great deal of the negative sentiment that the BJP was facing in the state, especially with the previous 2 chief ministers who were removed, Trivendra Rawat and Tirath Singh Rawat. So Dhami really addressed that, and he had a very low profile, calm way of functioning. Being a young leader, there was also an element of freshness associated with Pushkar Dhami. So he did play a role in this, but it does seem now the BJP's central leadership is entirely calling the shots in Uttarakhand. The names doing the rounds are Bansidhar Bhagat, Dhan Singh Rawat, and Madan Kaushik, and probably Satpal Maharaj. But Pushkar Dhami, no one anticipated that he would become CM. These names they were doing the rounds even last time. And instead of them, a first time, a reasonably junior MLA like Pushkar Dhami was made CM. Such a thing can happen again. I think the party can really pull a rabbit out of its hat again Uttarakhand. So, yes, there are these 4 frontrunners we just mentioned, but I won't really put my money on anyone here.
Okay. Now, moving to the last state, Manipur, the BJP has regained a second term here, and from 21 seats in 2017, it has now carved out 32 seats with the help of alliances as well. I want to know, was the BJP win expected in Manipur, given the fact the Congress MLA base has eroded over the past 5 years?
The BJP's win was expected because I think there's a pattern seems to be at work in the northeastern states that maybe there is a sense in that region that it is more preferable to have the same government in power as the center. Because there is a great deal of dependency on central funds. A great deal of influence is also exerted by central security forces in these states. There is those elements are there. So it is not very common for a state to go completely against what is happening in the center. And BJP is a strong party in Manipur, has become a strong party in Manipur. So it was very unlikely that it would have lost the election. What is surprising is that it has expanded in the state. When 15 out of its 21 seats last time were from just Meitei dominated regions, where the Meitei Hindu community is there. But this time it seems to have expanded a bit in terms of votes in the Kuki and Naga regions, dominated regions as well.
Yeah.
And the Congress seems to have shrunk in its influence. So, yeah, I think the BJP, yes, maybe the extent of BJP's victory and the stability of the numbers is probably a little surprising, but the win in itself is not at all surprising.
Okay. Now, for the race for CM in Manipur, do you think N. Biren will get a second term as well, or are there other names doing the round in Manipur?
So there was some infighting within the BJP. I think it was Bishwajit Singh who was leading some kind of rebellion against Biren Singh. But I do get the feeling BJP might persist with Biren Singh. But yet again, seeing what happened in Assam with the BJP replacing a very successful chief minister like Sarbananda Sonowal after its election victory and appointing Himanta Biswa Sarma. Anything can happen in Manipur as well.
Yeah.
But Biren Singh is still their tallest leader. But we must watch out for Himanta Biswa Sarma. I think as the Chief Minister of Assam, he will now have a great deal of say in what happens in other northeastern states for the BJP.
Okay.
So, yes, I think we should... I think he'll also play an important role in what happens next in Manipur.
For Goa, we move to Himanshi Dahiya, the Quint's correspondent who covers Goa and Punjab for us.
So, Himanshi, I wanted to talk to you regarding Goa. Now, the results, there was some rumors or some anticipation or predictions regarding there being a hung assembly in Goa because it was thought to be a close contest, but the results finally came down to the BJP winning 20 seats at the halfway mark, basically. The Congress won only 12 seats and now for the first time opened its account with 2 seats. But I want to speak to you regarding BJP's win in Goa. The results at 20 seats show that their intrinsic vote share remains intact. But the party also had, a lot of setbacks in past year, despite winning Pramod Sawant and Vishwajit Rane, the COVID crisis, the alleged recruitment scams and everything else as well. And this was also the first time that the BJP was facing an election without its tallest leader, Manohar Parrikar. So what exactly worked for the BJP despite all these setbacks in behind them?
To be very honest, it wasn't really expected that the BJP will retain, retain the number of seats or the vote share that it has. But the credit for BJP retaining this should actually go to the Congress and not the one second. Sorry, can I just go again?
Yeah.
So I think the credit for the BJP retaining its seats and also the vote bank should go to the Congress because the Congress was unable to capitalize on the anti-incumbency in Goa, which is much like every other state that went to polls recently. There was massive COVID mismanagement, inflation's been on a rise, a lot of dissatisfaction within the BJP rank and file as well. Like the BJP cadre wasn't happy. A lot of Catholic leaders were unhappy with the BJP. Michael Lobo, a cabinet minister, jumped ship to the Congress. So a lot of these things were hinting that the Congress actually has an edge. But the results did not really reflect that, and I think the blame also should wholly go to the Congress party. They did not have a chief ministerial to begin with. So, we did not really know who is Pramod Sawant actually up against.
Yeah.
An Aam Aadmi party also had a chief ministerial face, but I don't know what was the reason for the Congress to not have one. So, yes, obviously, a lot of credit should be given to Pramod Sawant for, having run an effective campaign, for having, like you pointed out, this is the first time that the BJP actually contested an election without Manohar Parrikar in the last 27 years. So that's like a big time, and Parrikar had this larger than life persona in Goa, and it still looked, and people still remember him for the person that he was. So in that sense, a lot of credit should be given to Pramod Sawant because he had big shoes to fill in, and I mean he's passed with flying colors. So yeah, the BJP did well in terms of countering or mitigating the anti-incumbency, but the credit for BJP's victory should actually go to the Congress.
Okay. Now, the other party also who was in the fray was the Trinamool Congress as well, the TMC, who was in the spotlight a lot in the run-up to the election, especially with the series of defections also that we saw from the Congress again to the TMC, and also Mamata Banerjee herself going down to Goa to contest, for the rallies. But the party did not, in spite of all of this, Shosha as well, not manage to open its bank. So why do you think that is? Like the TMC did not, that the people of Goa did not relate with the TMC, or did they mess up somewhere else?
To be very honest, I sort of disagree with the whole idea that the TMC did not do well. Coming into the election battlefield just 6 or 7 months before a state is supposed to go to polls, and then managing to win a vote share of close to, I think, 5.5% or 6%, nearing 6%. I think that's a big achievement. Because if you look at it, Aam Aadmi Party has been in Goa since 2014. That is when they first contested in the Lok Sabha elections. So it took them close to 8 years to actually win a seat in the assembly. So in that sense, I mean, the TMC, if the Trinamool Congress leaders were themselves expecting that they do well, I think that was a bit of a stretch for them to think so. But winning a seat might not have happened, and I just don't know what plans do they have for Goa in future. But like winning a vote share of close to 5% or 6% in your first ever election in Goa is not really bad. Again, like you said, there was a lot of shosha, a lot of media glare, but I think that is all that it was. A lot of leaders who switched to the TMC were actually those from the Congress or the BJP or the other regional parties, and so people they were all tried and tested people. They were all facing anti-incumbency. There was a sentiment against them. So there was anyway no chance for them winning. But this, I wouldn't say that this was a bad result for the TMC in that sense, because I don't think they would have themselves expected anything better, and if they did, I mean, I don't think they should have.
Okay.
The BJP has made a landslide victory in all 4 states. But what does this signal for the general elections of 2024? For this, we go back to Aditya.
My last question to you, Aditya, was that PM Modi, of course, in his speech on Thursday said that the results of the assembly election will lead to a saffron party victory in the general elections of 2024. What do you think of that statement? And do you expect that the BJP is now going to tidy up the internal feuds that we have been seeing within its state cadre, like Rajasthan and Karnataka, in preparation for 2024? That we'll be seeing some changes happening in the top level management of some states?
Yes, I think at the national level, this victory is a very, very welcome one for the BJP. Especially because firstly they have won Uttar Pradesh, and second that in the 3 out of the other 4 states they were engaged in a direct contest with the Congress. So and in all 3 they have come out on top, and Congress is presently at one of its weakest states ever in its history. It is in power only in the Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan on its own. So yes, I think for BJP now they would want to consolidate their position. They would focus on the upcoming elections in Gujarat and Himachal. Himachal seems particularly vulnerable. Recently, the BJP lost a few by-elections there, and the Congress seems to be on the upswing. So yeah, BJP would first try and address damage there. Uttarakhand's win would really boost the BJP's morale in Himachal as well, and I think they would now fancy their chances of sort of staging a recovery.
Yeah.
So yes, that would be one priority. The second is they would have to then also focus on Gujarat. Though the party is strong, and but this time after the Punjab result, the Aam Aadmi Party is likely to hit Gujarat in a very big way. So I mean, even though obviously it's in the first election they may not make that kind of an impact, but the BJP is faced with a new kind of an opponent in Gujarat, in addition to the Congress who's already there, of course. So yes, I think Gujarat is another area of focus for the BJP. Then of course Karnataka next year, as you mentioned, and there is some criticism that the present chief minister is facing. So the BJP will have to do some damage control there. I think with the hijab row, they seem to be pushing for a polarization kind of a tactic in Karnataka to offset some of the decline that they are facing. So yeah, I think so. These three things that is what the BJP may do in terms of state elections. The other major challenge that both the BJP and the opposition will now face is the presidential election. With the UP now firmly in the BJP's kitty and BJP having an advantage in terms of numbers, it's unlikely that the opposition, even if it completely comes together, it's unlikely that they would be able to disturb the BJP's arithmetic in the presidential elections. So, yeah, I think we'll see a great deal of churn in the opposition space, and we'll have to see which of the opposition parties now choose to support the BJP's presidential nominee and buy peace with the center for the time being.
The opposition, of course, has a lot of questions to ask itself as well, and especially the Congress on where it will lead next after this election as well.
That's the end for today's episode, but tune in to the Big Story podcast next week when we continue our coverage on the escalating crisis in Ukraine and its multifold impact.
If you liked listening to this episode, please subscribe to The Big Story for episodic updates. We're available on Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, JioSaavn, and most of the other popular podcast streaming platforms. For other podcasts, please log on to the Quint website, and for any feedback, please shoot an email to podcast@thequint.com.
Thanks for listening. Log on to the Quint's website and check out our other podcasts.